Time to look at this update. Get this patch notes reviewed. 1, 2, 1, 2, sweet. Sound is coming through. All right, let's go up the top. Information warnings have been added to certain interfaces such as the mail screen. Yeah, okay. Collider issue. I'm glad they fixed this. There was a time where somebody in an arena got into the wall versus me. That shit was super cringe. Trio arena is now only accessible. This is huge because a lot of people were queuing on the wrong channel, which led to no players playing arena essentially. I like the fact that it's showing the number of participants in the trio arenas alongside the minimum player being reduced. Has been a huge request by the community for sure. Victory and defeat indicators have been ended to yeah, that's pretty valuable, you know, because honestly there were times where I thought like we won and then it was a tie. It was super weird. Terra protection, terra fragments have been added to trio arena roar. That's huge. I might actually just do arenas at this point. An issue where set bonus items cause stat inconsistencies has been fixed. All gear bonuses now apply correctly and consistently. I'd love more details on what that means, because that's kind of a nothing burger of a note. I'm going to be honest with you. If all 3 target enemies are not eliminated before the time runs out, the result is now determined by the number of defeated players. This prevents unnecessary draws and discourages passive play. Huge. I mean, I caused a couple draws with how much stealth daggers get, so definitely a W change. Round end rewards based on player ranking have been added to Trio Arena. I'm assuming this doesn't mean round. I'm assuming this means match, and was a translation error. A rare issue where players were instantly removed from Trio Arena matches has been fixed. Okay. Critical chance of Tier 2 and Tier 3 Power Stones have been increased by 20%. Oh, man, Power Stones are in such a bad place right now, but I guess, sure. Various text and localization issues have been fixed. Honestly, this is probably a W for us as English speakers, because they're ultimately translating from Turkish to English. This is huge to stop people from getting around the clan limitation to RMT. Mount speed being increased by 2x is huge. PvE mount combat restrictions have been removed while PvE restrictions remain. That's actually pretty massive because that means that farming is going to be a lot easier to gather back and forth. A new button has been added to the repair screen to automatically select all repairable equipment. Fantastic change, to be honest. My favorite part about a lot of these changes are these are like quality of life improvements that are like those silent friction points that players just don't think about. But when you hit so many of those friction points, what happens? You have a player who decides not to log in the next day. So I'm pretty happy about that. PvP coin market prices have been significantly reduced. Ooh, I'm excited to see how much a Terra costs for PvP points. The what? Who asked for this? The invulnerability effect during dodge roll has been removed. However, CC protection remains. This is the only so far. This is the only note that I'm like, who asked? Who in the world asked for this? This is a terrible change. But let's see, what else do they have? Low star level items bonuses have been rebalanced. High star level items remain unchanged while lower tiers are improved. This is a huge W for competitive integrity of PvP. Once we see the numbers, it should be pretty great. We're hoping at least, right? A pity system's fantastic. I think we've all been there where we had like 20 something Terras blow up on a +7. Like, ain't nobody need that. I'm looking forward to seeing the numbers for sure. Whoever designed them must be a genius, surely, right? If they're good, at least. Sword and Shield auto attack damage reduced by 50%. I'm not upset about this, to be honest. I mean, with the changes, tanks are going to be incredibly tanky. They should be focused on the utility aspect. I'm hoping that this is to PvP, not PvE. Oh, what's up, Spud? Hey, dude, freaking, I'm leveling up Darkness a little bit. Not literally right after this stream, but we should be able to get you up to 100 pretty soon. Two-handed sword auto attack damage reduced by 10%. Yeah, nobody asked, or everybody asked for the two-handed sword nerf. That weapon has been insane since the changes. Life staff realm shifts cooldown increased from 18 seconds to 30 seconds. Okay, developers are cooking now because between that and the lack of invulnerability on rolls, we we might have something. Healers may not be invulnerable forever now. It's crazy. Arcane staff. Elemental dash cooldown increased from 15 seconds to 25 seconds. Oh my god, that's amazing. Like, let me read that again. So let's put this in perspective, right? Who do mages fear, for lack of a better term? Like, what class currently attacks mages? It's mainly rogues, or dagger users, right? They're gonna go after rogue players, and all that is healers and elementalists. And with the way it is right now, or the way it was, elemental dash was too long, or was too short, because with a 15-second cooldown, you're sitting in a situation where you can dash more often than I can stealth. So at what point am I able to pressure you unless I wait for you to burn your dash? And at that point, I'm most likely going to get caught with an ice anyways. Arcane staff, or sorry, crossbow stun bomb stun duration increased to 0.75. I'm conflicted on this, but ultimately Crossbow's been in a pretty bad place. So you know what? If we gotta give him one, we gotta give him one. Explosive arrow casting speed increased and AoE radius expanded. I don't remember exactly which ability is explosive arrow. I'd have to double check. Let's see, let's go to some class. Explosive cross. Okay, so it wasn't this side. It was marksman. Focus briefly fire an arrow that explodes on impact, dealing 190% physical damage to nearby enemies. Each point adds 7% damage. Okay. Okay. Auto attack damage increased by 15%. I would have preferred they went more for speed, but I mean, honestly, with the way crossbow synergizes with speed, maybe that's the better direction. Bow buff. I mean, if we ignore Bry and Conrad in the room, right? Bow needs some buffs here. So it looks like they're increasing the quick draw hitbox and piercing arrow casting speed and projectile speed. We'll see how it goes. I'm pretty sure if I remember which one is piercing arrow, it's the one skill I honestly thought was pretty good for bow, but let's see. Piercing arrow? Okay, no, I was thinking of a different one. Okay, okay. Warhammer. Discharge requires stacks reduced from 5 to 4. Allows more frequent usage. I'm not real keen on Warhammer personally, so, but I mean, these changes look pretty good so far. A bunch of Warhammer changes here. I mean, huge cooldown reduction, 20 seconds. These spells might be useful. Iron Will shield strength doubled. That's huge because they weren't really seeing much of a difference. And I'm assuming if I was a betting man on the scaling, this probably means 4 times the uh, durability of that shield. So they should actually start seeing, like, Warhammer should be competing with Sword and Shields for tank spots now, provided they're in heavy, of course. 20% true damage. I think we should be expecting people a lot tankier if they're making a change like this. Oh my Lanta. Robe set physical damage reduction increased from 10% to 25%. The only change I'm upset about in this entire patch has to do with dodges. Literally just dodges, guys. Man. Let's see. How does discussion handling this? Man. Oh man. People are upsetty spaghetti. Look at this guy. Yeah, see, look. Huge win for this. Huge win. People are so upset, bro. But hey, look, somebody who's saying Celis, I'm a healer and I'm not crying. SNS and two-handed nerfs, yay. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Like, I mean, star levels are enhancement, so that's a misunderstanding there. I mean, with rogue users determine the meta right now. Between the fact that healers, obviously, you're the only class that heals, right? You also have a pretty decent shield spec too that gets you slotted in wars. The elementalist clans are slotting 4 elementalists in their rosters right now. Yeah, you should be weak. You should be vulnerable. Like, you have great highs in the form of the damage you deal, but you get all of these benefits by not being tanky. So I'm huge fan, bro. Yeah, and people see it 100%. Ball-codex.com has it under damage calculator. So let's see. Let's see. Has my push hit? No, it did not. Let me fix this real quick. Push the change. Seeing the change. Oh, compare pre-patch versus post-patch. So let's see. Let's take my build and see what the scaling's gonna be now. Okay. Okay. What before would have been okay, these numbers are actually pretty fire. Like across the board, we're doing a lot more damage. Let's clean up these presets though. All right, so we're gonna say if you're tanky spear or you're my build or you're an elementalist. So think these are pre-patch changes here. So let's see. Okay, post-patch appeared. Sweet, 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 sweet. So currently, I'm gonna be doing with 5 stacks of Venom Burst. We'll be doing 42k to a heavy player who's running this tanky spear build, 53k to anyone running my build, 77k to rogue. That's a lot of damage. But when you take into account the total HP here, this is actually huge for the tribe. What was the 2-star things about equipment, not mobs? I don't know what you're talking about explicitly. Can you tell me? Light hammer on blue should be a thing too. True. It's the every 4 hits now. It does the extra damage, which is like a little more than an auto. Okay, okay. But so far, this is looking pretty good. Pretty good, if you ask me. Yeah, huge fan. Now we'll have to test these numbers in game, right? Definitely have to test these numbers in game, and then we'll be able to really see what the case is. Because like looking at these, like while I'm seeing a decent damage increase, when you take into account the fact that everybody's defenses are being increased between armor and HP by a pretty noticeable margin, it should be pretty reasonable. At least for robes. Robes are, man, I'm about to be a predator of rogue players. This is gonna be fantastic. Daggers on top. You heard it here first.